Hey guys, this is Mike Tarallo with Qlik, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through our latest feature within Insight Advisor, what we're calling Insight Advisor Analysis Types. So let me just set the stage for what analysis types are. It's basically a new experience for business analysts that already know the analysis that they want to perform and in the most effective way possible. It provides a focused approach to answering business questions where users simply choose from a variety of analysis types, such as comparison, ranking, trending, period over period, etc. And Insight Advisor will recommend the best data to use. The analyses are auto-generated and can include visualizations, narratives, even complete dashboards. All of this without the need to manually create visualizations or even write complex expressions. And if needed, you can customize them for further exploration and styling. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to make you familiar with the panel that we'll be using that has the different tiles for the analysis types. For the most part, I'd like to go through most of these, so this video will be a little bit longer than usual, but as you know, I am very thorough and I like to cover everything so you have a good understanding of how they're used. The other thing I would like to mention is that the data has already been loaded into the app, and I've done some preparation within Business Logic. And that might be a necessary step for you in order for Insight Advisor to return more meaningful results. So keep that in mind as well. I'm not going to be going into Business Logic, but we do have materials that do cover that. I also have a Do More with Qlik webinar that is in our archive that goes into that in much detail. So look for that resource. I'll make it available in the comment section where this video is posted if you're interested in Business Logic. Okay, so to show you how I got into this panel, you'll see there's a button, Insight Advisor, in the upper left. It's a toggle button. It basically toggles you between your current dashboard view or edit analysis mode view and the Insight Advisor interface. Now, the other thing to remember, and I've always stressed this when I do my presentations, is Insight Advisor is not just for creation. It's also for answering business questions, exploration, and analysis. So don't think that you just use Insight Advisor to create your initial chart or your analysis to be added to a dashboard. It can be used at any time when you're analyzing data. And that goes for exploring the fields, which can consist of the fields that have been loaded from the data load script or fields that you've derived with expressions within master items. And then you could also ask questions in natural language, or simply just click on fields and see what Insight Advisor generates. Okay, so you'll notice that if you select or hover over Explore Your Data, it highlights the Fields panel. Ask a question, highlights the natural language query box, or Create an Analysis, it highlights the analysis types. Okay, and just to correlate the two with each other in the Fields section here, if I just chose, for example, we just want to look at total orders by order date, I needed to select these, and Insight Advisor is going to produce a chart. Now, most likely it should produce a line chart because we're looking at a trend because we have a time period dimension, order date, and total orders is our measure. So now we're looking at total orders over time, and we have our visualization that shows that, as well as some narrative natural language generation, and then other types of charts that have been suggested. Okay, that's just quickly exploring the data. And then asking a question, I could say total sales this month, and it produces a KPI or key performance indicator, which shows me that measure, and you can see the filter that's applied for the month of April. And there's some various options here for analysis time periods. We can cover all that at another time. But those are ways of generating those insights automatically by using Insight Advisor. But now you have this particular panel here. You can click View All Analyses, and now you have analysis types that are going to give you suggestions in the form of measures and dimensions to use for that analysis. Okay? So at any time, whether you're creating a brand new sheet or you're within an existing sheet, you can toggle directly to the Insight Advisor panel. Okay, so let's go through some of these. And stick with me because I know you're going to enjoy it and you're going to learn a lot from this, just like I did when I was preparing for this video. So let's start out with something simple. We're going to look at calculated measure KPI. Now, you might think that this is just a simple display of a single metric, but there's a little more power behind this. So you have your suggested measures, which are across the top here. You also have access to any available master items or fields. I'm going to use the suggestions, and I'm just going to look for total sales. So this is going to display my total sales figure for both years in the database, 2021 and 2022. Now, at any time, I could always go to Global Smart Search, or I can go to Bookmarks, and I could apply selections. So maybe I'm just interested in the year 2022. So let's look at the current sales, and it applies the year 2022 as my filter. So we can see 12,957. I'm going to clear that filter. And the reason I'm showing you this is just for accuracy and comparison. If there are calendar periods available within Business Logic, you'll have an analysis periods available toggle, and then you can choose to look at different analysis time periods. In this case, we can look at month to month, we could look at quarter, and we could look at year. If I choose year, you can see now total sales year to date 2022, we have 12,957, and then total sales last year 27,000. So this is meaningful insights that are auto-generated through the use of that particular KPI analysis type, but you could also apply selections and filters and analysis periods to them as well. And then when you're done, add to sheet. You can create a brand new one or just add it to an existing one. I have one that's empty already called Insight Advisor Analysis Type Demonstration. So we're going to add it there. And then later we'll go to that sheet and look at it. Okay, we're going to go to View All Analysis. And now we're going to go to Ranking. So now we're going to look at a measure and a dimension. Once again, our suggested measures. This time let's look at total number of orders. And let's look at this information by item model, a particular category. So now we're ranking the number of orders by item model, and it's going to be displayed as a bar chart. And you can see we have some narrative insights as well. The count of total orders is 439. 4 items in total orders are not associated with item model. This may indicate a data quality issue. And that's good to know. That means that there are a few items that are the line item named that are not associated with a particular category that we might have to investigate. So here is our total orders ranked and item model. And there's also other suggestions. Here is a table that's also been created. So we're going to add that to our sheet. Okay, let's go to View All Analyses. And let's look at Breakdown Geospatial. So now I'm interested in looking at my total sales figures, in this case here, for my country. So I'm just going to choose country as my geographic dimension, and then total sales as my measure. And keeping in mind, as I mentioned earlier, once these are added to a sheet, you can edit them and make changes to them as well. So now we're looking at our geographical breakdown of total sales. Okay, and what is this telling me? Obviously, the majority of sales are within the United States. Okay, let's add that to the Insight Advisor Analysis Type sheet. You could also see a word cloud has also been generated. So once again, these are suggested charts and visualizations based off of the measures and dimensions available. Okay, next we'll look at breakdown multiple dimensions. So I'm going to choose this one. And this is where we can look at, for example, total sales by, say, our item model and item type. And this will create what is called like a tree map, which shows me the different categories here. So we can see the 5200 arcade stick is one of the top sellers here as compared to, let's say, the Amiga adapters or control pads. At any time, you could also change the measures. Maybe we want to look at number of orders by and change the dimensions. Maybe we want to look at the fulfillment status. as well as the item model. Okay, so we can see number of orders and number of different model types have been fulfilled, but we still have a small subset of orders that have not been fulfilled yet. So let's add that to our sheet. Okay, let's go back to view all analyses. Okay, let's look at trend over time. We can look at total sales and order date, and you can even choose a dimension if you wanted to as well. So now this will produce that line chart and add that to my sheet. Okay, so to wrap this up, we are over the 10-minute mark, and I covered a lot of what I wanted to show you. Please note there are more analysis types that we can cover in other videos, some with some more advanced options. But I did want to point out is that we also can create what we call smart sheets, which are dashboard-like pages with multiple visualizations. And we have a couple here: period changes detailed, and period over period selected. So I'm just going to choose period over period selected, and from my measure list, we're going to choose total orders, and a dimension will be country. In this case, we're going to create a automatic filter panel with the dimension selected, and then our time period dimension is order date. And you can see we put a placeholder with a button that says open analysis, and there are some calendar periods applied. So let's click open analysis. And this will create a dashboard-like sheet with multiple visualizations on it. So you'll have KPIs across the top, you'll have a chart, and then you'll also have a filter panel on the left. So what this is basically showing us is the number of orders last year and this year, and then the change or the delta. We could change that period analysis or the calendar period. Let's look at March and April. And now we have our period over period analysis chart showing you today's date, showing you total orders for March, and then showing you total orders for April, as well as the KPIs for those numbers and the delta. And then if we wanted to look at this per country, we can choose the filter box, and we can choose, for example, United States. And this will apply a filter for that as well. And then if we like what we have, we click Add to New Sheet. And here it created my sheet 3. We can go directly to that sheet. And then if we wanted to go into edit mode and make changes to our charts, we can do that. Also, if we just go to the Insight Advisor Analysis Type sheet, these are the elements we created earlier in the video that we added to that sheet as well. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you have any comments or questions, please post them where this video is posted, either in the Qlik community or on YouTube. Also, tell me in the comments below how you are planning on using Qlik's Insight Advisor analysis types. We'd love to hear from you. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next video.